On a foggy evening in late October, the small town of Ravensbrook lay nestled in the shadow of the ancient Evernight forest. The townsfolk, long accustomed to the peculiarities of their home, knew that strange things happened in the mist that often rolled down from the mountains. But none could have foreseen the events that would unfold on this particular night. Ravensbrook was known for its antiquated train station, a relic from the early 1900s that had seen better days. The station was rarely used, save for the occasional freight train passing through on its way to larger cities. But tonight, the station was bustling with activity. A passenger train, the Nightingale Express, had been scheduled to stop in Ravensbrook for the first time in decades, carrying with it a host of passengers eager to visit the annual Harvest Festival. Among the passengers was Amelia Graves, a young journalist with a nose for uncovering secrets. She had been assigned to cover the festival but had heard rumors about the mysterious Nightingale Express and its connection to the town's past. As the train pulled into the station, its headlights cutting through the dense fog, Amelia felt a chill run down her spine. There was something unsettling about the train, something that didn't quite belong to this world. The train hissed to a stop, and the passengers disembarked, chattering excitedly about the festival. But as Amelia stepped onto the platform, she noticed something strange. The train, which had seemed so full of life just moments before, was now eerily silent. The conductor, a tall man with a pale complexion and an old-fashioned uniform, stood by the door, staring blankly into the distance. Amelia approached the conductor, her curiosity piqued. "Excuse me, sir," she said, "is everything all right?" The conductor slowly turned his head to face her, his eyes glassy and distant. "The Nightingale Express does not stop for long," he said in a low, almost mechanical voice. "It must depart before the stroke of midnight." Before Amelia could ask another question, the conductor turned and boarded the train, leaving her standing alone on the platform. She watched as the train began to pull away, its wheels clattering over the tracks. But as the last carriage disappeared into the fog, a sense of foreboding washed over her. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. Determined to uncover the truth, Amelia decided to follow the train's route on foot. She knew that the tracks wound through Evernight Forest, a place steeped in local legends and known for its unnatural occurrences. As she made her way into the forest, the trees closed in around her, and the fog grew thicker, swallowing the moonlight and casting the world into an impenetrable darkness. Hours passed, and the silence of the forest was broken only by the distant hoot of an owl. Amelia pressed on, her heart pounding in her chest. Just when she thought she had lost the train's trail, she heard it. The faint sound of a whistle echoing through the trees. She quickened her pace, following the sound until she emerged into a clearing. There, in the center of the clearing, stood the Nightingale Express, its carriages gleaming faintly in the darkness. But something was different. The train was no longer the modern passenger train she had boarded earlier. It was old, ancient even, with rusted carriages and cracked windows. The once pristine paint was now peeling, revealing the decayed wood beneath. Amelia's breath caught in her throat as she realized what she was seeing. The Nightingale Express wasn't just a train, it was a ghostly relic from the past, a train that had vanished from the world of the living decades ago. As she approached the train, a cold wind swept through the clearing, and the doors to one of the carriages creaked open. Despite every instinct telling her to turn back, Amelia stepped inside. The interior of the carriage was dimly lit by flickering lanterns. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and decay. As she moved down the aisle, she noticed the passengers, dozens of them, sitting in their seats, motionless. Their clothes were tattered and covered in dust, their faces pale and expressionless. Amelia's heart raced as she realized these weren't just passengers. They were the spirits of those who had boarded the Nightingale Express on its final journey. The train had become a vessel for lost souls, forever doomed to travel the tracks that led nowhere. Suddenly, the train lurched forward, and the doors slammed shut behind her. Amelia stumbled, grabbing onto a nearby seat for support. The train was moving, picking up speed as it hurtled through the dark forest. Panic set in as she searched for a way out, but the windows were sealed tight and the doors wouldn't budge. The train was taking her deeper into the unknown, to a place where the living had no business being. As the Nightingale Express roared through the night, the fog outside thickened. wrapping the train in a shroud of impenetrable mist. Amelia felt the temperature drop, the cold seeping into her bones. She knew she had to find a way to stop the train before it carried her into oblivion. Desperation drove her to the front of the train where she found the conductor standing in the engine room. His eyes, now burning with an unnatural light, met hers as she entered. "You shouldn't have come," he said, his voice echoing with an otherworldly resonance. "This train is not for the living." "Please," Amelia begged, "I just want to go home." The conductor regarded her for a long moment before his expression softened. "There may be a way," he said, "but it comes at a price." Without hesitation, Amelia nodded. "I'll do whatever it takes." The conductor pointed to a lever on the control panel. "Pull that lever, and the train will stop. But know this, once you pull it, you will be bound to the Nightingale Express forever. You will become its new conductor, guiding lost souls on their final journey." Amelia hesitated, her mind racing. She had uncovered the truth, but at what cost? Was she willing to sacrifice her own freedom to save others? The alternative was to stay on the train, doomed to become one of the lost souls herself. With a deep breath, she reached out and grasped the lever. The moment she pulled it, the train screeched to a halt, throwing her off balance. The lights flickered, and then went out, plunging the carriage into darkness. When Amelia opened her eyes, she found herself standing on the platform at Ravensbrook Station. The Nightingale Express was gone, leaving no trace of its passage. The fog had lifted, and the first light of dawn was breaking over the horizon. But something was different. As she looked down at her hands, she saw that they were no longer flesh and blood. They were translucent, ghostly. She had become part of the train's legacy, a spirit bound to the Nightingale Express for all eternity. And so, Amelia Graves became the new conductor of the ghostly train, guiding it through the misty forests and forgotten towns, forever seeking redemption for the souls it carried. And the Nightingale Express? It still travels the tracks to this day, its whistle echoing through the night, a haunting reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil of our world.